Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing dumpers don't want you to know this. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Check out my socials for extra content. The links are in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing dumpers don't want you to know this. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you might be surprised to know that your ex is keeping some things from you. In today's podcast, I'm discussing 3 things that your dumper doesn't want you to know. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is that they're fearful. When you were going through the breakup, when your ex, the dumper, actioned the decision to end your relationship, one of the things that they don't want you to necessarily know is that they're fearful. And you, as a dumpee, might be listening to this and thinking, well, how on earth can they be fearful? This is a decision that they are making. I don't want the relationship to end. If they were fearful of making this decision, and I don't want it to end myself, why not just carry on with the relationship? Why not just try and patch things up and continue as we were? Why do they do something that they're scared of? Well, this is something that your ex-dumper likely doesn't want you to know, and that is that they are fearful. And they're fearful for a few reasons. The first of which is that they are nervous that they are making the right decision. Are they making the right decision? Who knows? Only time will tell. Your ex-dumper doesn't know for certain. They know you had a relationship. They know that you once loved one another. They know that you likely still love them. They know all of these things. And hence, throwing it all away by ending your relationship is nerve-wracking. Am I making the right decision? Is this the right thing to do? Should I be doing this? Should I be trying to resolve the problems? What should I do? The nerves that your ex-dumper will have about whether or not they've made the right decision are going to be growing by the day on the build-up to the breakup, because it's very unlikely they've done this instantly. More than likely they've thought about this for days, weeks, if not months. They've come to the decision due to losing romantic emotional attraction with action of a breakup. On the build-up to this, the nerves are building. And beyond the breakup decision taking place, beyond the actioning of that decision, your ex-dumper is still going to be feeling those nerves for some time to come. Have they made the right decision? Even if they believe they have done, a few weeks, maybe even a few months post-breakup, those thoughts and feelings can absolutely change in their mindset as the months tick by. I see an average amount of time of around 6 months and beyond. 6 to 12 months really, I would say, is the average of where dumpers reach out to dumpees. That seems to be that sweet spot of when they've decided they've made the wrong decision. And this stems, as I said, from before they even action a breakup. Those nerves of whether they made the right decision are absolutely there, but they don't want you to know this. They're not likely to tell you, hey, I'm nervous about this decision. No, it's very unlikely that they will tell you. Secondly, in regards to your ex-dumper being fearful, is that they are nervous that they're going to hurt you badly. Now, they're not silly, they're not daft, they're not stupid. They know that by action in the breakup, you're not going to be happy. Okay, they realise this, and most dumpers feel terrible. Most dumpers do not want to hurt their dumpees. Most dumpers feel really, really upset themselves about this, and they're very nervous that they're hurting you badly. They're very nervous that by hurting you in this way, it's going to showcase a level of decline in who you are. Now, they don't feel you're a good fit right now, but it doesn't mean that they want to see you crash and fall even further from the person you are currently. They don't want to see you become a version 0.5, 0.5. They don't want to see that. They don't want you to fall further than you are. And those nerves that they're hurting you badly are going to absolutely be the case, which is why some dumpers will reach out to their dumpee post-breakup and check up on them. And this can sometimes cause confusion. Is my ex-dumper reaching out because they want to reconnect? Or are they feeling fearful? Are they feeling nervous due to my well-being? Although that might be nice for them to do, it doesn't mean that they want to reconnect at that point. And this is something that dumpees will see sometimes because their dumper is so nervous that they've hurt you badly. The third sub-point I want to speak about in point number 1 about your ex-dumper being fearful is that they are nervous about their own future. As I alluded to in the first sub-point, they were somewhat concerned and nervous whether or not they made the right decision. And this ties in with this third sub-point of point number 1 about them being nervous about their own future. They will have nerves about whether or not they will find a better partner than you. Now, of course, they've taken this gamble. They've taken this choice. They've made this decision that they feel the relationship you two are in right now is not fulfilling. Unfortunately, that is the case. That's why they're ending it. But it doesn't mean that they're overly confident about what is ahead. Most dumpers are nervous about their future, but they're not going to let that on. They're not going to want you to know. This is a dumper secret. They need to be as confident as possible when they are ending the relationship that this is the decision they've made, and the decision they've made is final. We're not going to say to you, well, no, I might be wrong. I might be back in a week. Okay. Sometimes dumpers can't hide it so well, and they might say things such as, well, in a year's time, we will connect again and see how we're both doing, and maybe we'll be in different places, and maybe then we can get back together. Occasionally, a dumper will show their cards by saying something really random like that, but most dumpers won't. Most dumpers will not show any nerves at all to you about their decision. The reality, though, is very different, and they are likely to be nervous about their future. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please like this video if you're watching on YouTube, and if you have a new hype feature, please hype this video as well. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is they miss aspects of your relationship. Now today we're speaking about dumpers don't want you to know this. Dumpers don't want their dumpees to know these points. And point number 2 is absolutely the case most of the time. And that is your ex-dumper misses aspects of your relationship. You've been dumped. You're a dumpee. You're feeling agonizing breakup pain. You're feeling heartbroken. So you're probably looking at things with a bit of a skewed mindset. And you're probably thinking, my ex-dumper hates me. My ex-dumper dislikes everything about me. My ex-dumper can't remember me. My ex-dumper doesn't care. But listen, most dumpers will miss aspects of your relationship. They're not going to think it was all bad. They're going to remember those good times. They're going to remember the points of your relationship where you really clicked, even towards the end. Your ex-dumper ended your relationship due to a loss of romantic emotional attraction, but it doesn't mean that everything within your connection they saw as bad. It doesn't mean they didn't feel connected in any way. And this is why sometimes dumpers will try and regain a level of connection with you post-breakup. Normally, that will fall into one of 2 categories. Probably the most common of which would be they try to offer platonic friendship. If they're offering you platonic friendship, this shows there are definitely things that they miss within your connection if you are no longer going to be in their life. They try to hold on to them through a platonic connection. Now, I don't suggest you accept this as a dumpee. It doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to have an argument about it. But if you are offered platonic friendship by somebody that you have romantic feelings for, it is only going to hurt you. If you accept friendship, what that means is you are a friend, which means they can date other people. They might even invite you to a party with their new partner because you're a friend. So you can't be accepting that. You have to be as polite, as respectful, as calm as possible if they offer you this and say in your own words, hey, I will always see you as more than a friend, so I can't accept an act of platonic friendship. Now this is a situation which is very difficult if you're offered it, not to accept it because you feel that you can regain some level of connection. But listen, dumpees, it is not likely to evolve into anything romantic from this position. Getting out of a friend zone is very, very tough. So I do not suggest you accept that. The other possibility of where a dumper is trying to hold on to certain aspects of a connection with their dumpee is if they try and change the dynamic of the relationship from a romantic relationship to an intimate relationship, meaning they're trying to change you from having a romantic relationship which was exclusive and instead altering it to a friends with benefits where they are allowed to go and find other people. Maybe they say you are as well, but still, if you want an exclusive romantic relationship with someone, they're only offering you friends with benefits, it's not going to help you. Similar, but opposite to the possibility of them offering you platonic friendship. If they offer you friends with benefits, then that means, yes, you're being intimate together, but they're still on the lookout to find someone they deem to be a better connection, and therefore if they get to find somebody new, they will eventually just vanish and say, hey, I found somebody else, we can't be intimate anymore. So I don't suggest you accept moving to a friends with benefits. That will not help you if you want long-term romantic exclusivity. That is something to bear in mind as well. There are other things you can see about where your dumper may miss aspects of your relationship, and sometimes those clues are not where you might expect. If your ex-dumper jumps into a rebound relationship, it's often because they're missing certain things that they had with you, and they want to try and replicate that, even if it's with somebody new. Now, the good things, Dumpees, if you find out that your ex is in a rebound relationship, is it's most likely going to end as soon as it began. And that is because, although your ex-dumper is chasing some type of connection similar to what you two both had, it isn't with you, it's with somebody else. They don't really know them, and if and when they finally get to know each other a bit better, a bit more realistically, where they can actually understand who they are as people, this will likely end the relationship because they will find out they're not compatible. So it's painful if you find out your ex is with somebody new, but the likelihood is it's going to end as soon as it began if it is deemed as a rebound relationship. And I would say that is if they get into a new connection within a year or so post-breakup. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the build-up of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and my final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is they're betting on you not thriving. So today we're speaking about dumpers don't want you to know this. They don't want their dumpee to know the points in today's podcast. And the third point today is that they're betting on you not thriving. Now remember, earlier on, when I was speaking about how they don't want to hurt you, when I was speaking about how they don't want to see you collapse, they don't want you to become a version 0.5, 0.5 of yourself. They don't want that. However, they are placing a metaphorical bet on the possibility that you are not going to become version 2.0. They don't expect you to achieve. They don't expect you to improve. And this is why they're checking out. They've decided that this relationship is not fulfilling. They don't want to hurt you, but they are betting on you not thriving. They're betting that you will never become version 2.0 of yourself. Because if you did, and if they believed you would, well, this is when they would still be with you. Now, why would they end a relationship if they believed you would grow as a person and connect with them on all the necessary levels and metrics? They don't believe it. And this is why they're ending a relationship. Now, they're not going to tell you that. They're not likely to say, hey, I don't think you're going to thrive. Maybe they will let you know in subtle hints or whatnot, saying, hey, I'm not believing this relationship is moving forward. I don't believe this is going anywhere. That might be something that they could say that gives you a clue. Perhaps you two don't live with one another and your ex-dumper really wanted to live with you. Maybe they didn't even actually say it, but it is something clearly by the end that they really wanted. Maybe you do live together, but again, the relationship is not progressing in the way that they would hope. Maybe they wanted to get married and that doesn't seem to be on the cards. Maybe they want to have a baby. And again, maybe that doesn't seem something that you're interested in. These are just some of the possibilities of how and when you might see those clues if they end the relationship and say, I didn't think this was going anywhere. It would just seem to be stagnating. That in a way, is them suggesting that they do not believe you're going to thrive, grow, and achieve things in different ways. Now, of course, they're just a few examples. It could be anything. It could be to do with health and fitness. It could be to do with education. It could be to do with jobs and work life. It could be to do with intimacy. It could be to do with anything that we can connect with not becoming a better person tomorrow than you are currently today. If they don't see that in you, then they're going to end the relationship. And this is something that they're not likely to be explaining fully. They don't want you to know exactly how they feel on this because they feel it would hurt you. Remember I said earlier, they don't want to hurt you more than they already know that you're heartbroken. They don't want you to collapse. They don't want you to fall further with them saying, I don't believe you're ever going to improve or grow. If they said that to you, you would likely feel even worse. So they're not likely to tell you. And this is point number 3. They're betting on you not thriving. And hence, if you want to try and increase the chance of getting your ex back, you need to prove that they are wrong. You do need to thrive. You do need to grow. You do need to become version 2.0 of yourself. You do need that motivation to improve every single day. And that is what I will provide you via my audio coaching service, amongst the other hints, tips, advice, and strategies to help you move forward in your life, in your specific situation. Motivation is absolutely key. You need to be motivated every single day. And I will help you do that through my audio coaching service. But you also need to become self-motivated, because I can't be with you every second of every day. So you need to find that within as well to grow, to improve, and to ultimately prove your ex-dumper wrong that actually you can, you will, and you are thriving, and you will become version 2.0. And if and when they find this out, if and when they see it, this is when you can get your ex back.